I haven't sold a single stock of Rocket Lab, even though I'm above my 10% of net worth target on the stock. It's been quite a few months for Rocket Lab. The stock is up 309% since I made my last video on Rocket Lab in September last year. Given the run-up in the stock, I thought it would be appropriate for me to give you an update on what I'm doing with my position. Rocket Lab currently makes up 12.6% of my net worth as of closing prices on January 24, 2025. Under normal circumstances, I would have started rebalancing already and shaved off the excess 2.6% from my Rocket Lab position. But I haven't done that. Why is that? The first reason is that I also have an options positions of Rocket Lab, which is about 1.1% of my net worth, above and beyond the 12.6% equity that I mentioned earlier. Given that options contract have an expiry date, I want to make sure that I book profit in those contracts first, therefore limiting my risk. I have zero FOMO in not selling Rocket Lab shares because some of these options contracts are up 30x, which gives me the ability to book profit without having to touch my core portfolio. The second reason I am not selling Rocket Lab yet is that I kind of think Rocket Lab is at fair value now. Rocket Lab is valued at $15 billion. SpaceX, on the other hand, is valued at $350 billion. Remember, Rocket Lab is number 2 to SpaceX when it comes to commercial rocket launches. Now, obviously, SpaceX is far ahead of Rocket Lab when it comes to rocket launches, but Rocket Lab is a far more versatile company. Rocket Lab is an end-to-end space company, whereas SpaceX is limited to launch businesses as well as a little bit of Starlink. Therefore, I think that in the future, Rocket Lab might have a larger TAM than SpaceX, leading to a higher valuation for Rocket Lab. As Rocket Lab starts testing Neutron, as well as starts putting out its own constellation into the orbit, it will be in more direct competition with SpaceX and bringing it even closer to that market cap that SpaceX currently has. So Rocket Lab could actually triple from here, go to 100 and still only be 1/7 the valuation of SpaceX. That is why I think that it is fair value and it has a lot more room to run. Having said that, as I mentioned earlier, that if I did not have those options positions, I would have rebalanced my equity position by now. With Neutron testing coming up, there is almost definitely going to be some failures, which will lead to a lot of volatility in the stock, at which point you would have wished that you made that rebalancing so that you have the cash to buy back the stock at that point. As such, rebalancing above your target allocation is a sound move, and I look to do the same as and when I sell out of my options contracts. Fundamentally, not much has changed since my last video. The company continues to execute extremely well. Beyond Neutron, Rocket Lab will also continue to receive contracts from NASA and the Department of Defense, which should further take the stock higher. I hope this was helpful. I first wrote about Rocket Lab on May 1st, 2023 on Substack. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe on YouTube and Substack so that you don't miss out on the next 10x or 100x stock idea. Cheers.